I had something else to say, but forgot what it was. And please forgive me because I'm trying to get them off. Because I already got some stuff, shit I've got to do. And I like to play this World of Tanks now. I just started playing it and I really like it. So my free time I've been doing that. And um, I have some things I gotta do besides that. I'm working on the natural spring water, natural Florida spring water. So I'm fixing to benefit from. I put cocoa in my coffee, so sometimes it looks like a little dirty, but it's just cocoa. But anyways, um, so we got some things we're gonna work on today. So I wanted to get this video out of the way, and I'm saying that because I apologize because I'm trying to throw a bunch of all my thoughts. I don't have anything written down or anything for this. It's a complete freestyle. You want to call it that? Go at it. I'm going at it without a script or writing anything down. It's just what's on my mind. So, and part of what was on my mind was I wanted to apologize because I am trying to not. It's sort of like rushing through something just to get it done, like how a jury of 12 could convict somebody and not hear all of the facts. And then basically for the district attorney, put them bad karma on their own self because they wanted to hurry up and get out of there. So they said guilty to the guy just so that they could rush off and get out of there. It sounds pretty cheesy, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bundle up a lot of my ideas, and I know that if I put it in the title, it'll help me keep in track and keep in mind of what it is that I'm thinking about. So it's something that just really bothers me because everybody um, votes unless they tell you you can't vote. Um, and basically everybody's got has an opinion on the state of our affairs. So I just wanted to broadcast my opinion a little bit more. And I'm asking why is Obama not presidential? And um, I'll define reasons here why I asked that question, why I raised the question. So, and then we're going to look at England as a role model for what happened to them, on how they got their gun ban, and you'll see that it, they fell for it over there, and in other places around the world they fell for it in a socialist, um, environment where people are like want to take their bras off and have sex in the park and stuff like that, and everything is great. Having fun is great. It's fantastic. But while you're having fun, you guys are getting yourself into a deal with the guy who reminds me of the devil himself. Obama does. So I don't know how you guys think. Just him giving you uh, certain benefits or whatever, you know, that makes you want to kiss his butt or whatever. While at the same time, you can see all too much realistically that the dude's policies are all anti-American or not. Um, basically, um, orchestrated to help us out, to make benefit for America, make our America stronger. And I can show you um, throughout history that everything that Obama has done has already been done. So the guy doesn't have an excuse of being able to say that he didn't know that the stuff that he was doing was not going to cause harm to this place. You know, I don't know what him and the terrorists get for killing all of us and letting our society be weak. Try to make all of the weak things and aspects in society, like all of the women. It's not women. It's all of the gay people who act like women, who act like they're the woman or whatever, and they're guy, um, are acting like they're in charge when really, literally, um, there should be somebody that should put some fucking rubber gloves on, some fucking rubber gloves on already, and smack the shit out of these fucking little fags. Seriously, because they're not in charge and they're gonna get us all killed. So, doing things selfishly for an agenda that's just gonna get us all killed. So, I mentioned uh, France already once that they had taken guns away from them, and the terrorists right now is a real bad time to be talking about taking citizens' gun rights away from them when they have them mainly to be able to police an area themselves. Cops, will all have to admit, cannot be they're not omnipresent. They cannot be in every place every time. More times than not, if you're a good person and you won't ever do anything wrong, there's more chances of the police still showing up just because that's life and it's the way it is. The police will show up when you're either dead or they won't show up at all. So if you're out here, how are you're gonna protect yourself with a little bottle of pepper spray, or and there's some real serious dangers and threats out there that all of us basically needed the president to deputize us all. He really did. He needed to deputize us all and give us all an amount of authority over our enemies, not give our enemies authority over us the other way around. So at a time where it's thick and crazy like this in the world, he's going to be trying to take guns away from us, and they're putting guns more likely in the hands of terrorists. And right now is only a time where we should be talking about taking guns out of terrorists' hands, regardless if they're Muslim or not. If there's some kind of a terrorist threat, we need to know about it. We need to be able to focus on being able to confiscate anything that could harm society from those individuals. But that's not the case. And the case is that he has this people are being having the attention and direction of the authorities or whatever Obama's doing. He's doing it the opposite. And actually, I believe that that is more or less of the police's job. So the police are being restrained by Obama also, and people like them, the Democrats, because they believe that that all of these cops and all of these there should be um, uh, red tape or however you say that on everything. So everything must be freaking struggle in order to get to the point. It's a complete struggle, a struggle with society. So you're like, well, shit. I just wanted shit to be fair and square. I wanted to be able to look out for my fellow countrymen. You know, regardless if you know I hate them or not. I'm not going to take um, you just letting a terrorist walk through and do some damage or harm to somebody else. Um, basically, he could be causing me harm too. But over me hating somebody, I'm just saying that I'm not too sure, but I do not believe that I would take personal beef into shit like that because I've seen myself in action. I can sit here and huff and puff and talk shit all that I want, but whenever it comes down to it, a real scenario where something like a terrorist attack or anything bad happens, I always have, whenever there's been crazy situations, I say like a burning house. Or, I'm just saying something hypothetically, but not really. I mean, really things that I've seen myself totally change, and I was all in on saving the people, or you know what I mean. So all I can say is, I'm not. I totally can tell that in myself that if I could have done anything about stopping or thwarting any of these terrorist attacks in America, I know for a fact I would have. And I believe that it's the job of the authorities to stop people who Obama thinks he's supposed to stop, or whoever he thinks he's supposed to go after, or whatever. And he's treating everything like not like the president does, more like a governor or somebody who got elected to be a city mayor or something, because um, it's really hard to explain. Um, Whenever I'm talking like that, I'm kind of losing myself a little bit, but I gotta try to figure out how to make this point on what he is doing in particular. So, um, the police have a certain job um, and a certain way to profile different individuals, but they're only given what they have now, so it's with red tape and whatever else. They do their job however they're supposed to do, kind of restrained a little bit. I think that they could orchestrate a lot better, especially the FBI, if there wasn't a liberal president there sitting there trying to say that we don't have actually international enemies, but they're just regular citizens too, because he believes that all the borders in the world should be open, and they're obviously U.S. citizens, even though they're from Iraq or something, But um, they shouldn't have to gain citizenship or something like that here. They should just be able to just walk right into America, no matter who they are, you know. So the guy is not presidential material because the president is not supposed to go after me as a citizen if I have a political difference with him, or I'm the same politically in line with him, inclined to think a lot of the same crazy as shit that Obama thinks. So he takes shit that we think, a lot of people on the right who just use, I swear a lot, but I swear to God, it's common sense is what I'm talking about. So I'm trying not to bullshit with people as best that I can. And if I sound like a little nippy and shit, I'm trying to prove a point with people. So I am sternly going to continue doing that. So just like Howard Stern. Howard Stern, if you want to know, it's crazy, but it sounds really odd maybe, but it ain't Rush Limbaugh or anybody from the right who makes me kind of feel positive about continuing and going forward and just speaking my mind is actually fucking Howard Stern. Actually, is the guy who I look at. It gives me inspiration to keep doing what I'm doing here and to not give up and not crack, but to keep on explaining um, my personal side and continuing this fight, even though it might be small. The small, minute channel that we are is highly effective. It is highly effective. I've seen this channel in action, as small as it is and as little subscribers as it has, take on and take down some and win too. Here in the meantime, and win our conservative battle that we were fighting, that we thought personally was bullshit and was important. We had to say something. So we're just trying to step up to the plate and explain. You know, a president comes in and he thinks of ways on how to make things better for everybody else, not how to make my world worse, and not to embolden my enemy, you know, not to take my guns from me and then tell the terrorists where what country has their guns manufactured for them for sale, to set that still sells to terrorists, when right now everybody like Russia and America and everybody should be right on eye to not being attacking their citizens, but getting their citizens emboldened to help them and to want to support their government and their military because they love the things that they do against people out here that really want to kill them. So identifying those people and disarming them. The Democrats make it seem like we want to just seek and destroy and we want to just kill all these people, which might be true, but I'm talking about something that's common sense. And what makes a lot of sense is that those people need to be disarmed. When Israel had the 6 Day War and they attacked all those places, do you know what they did? They blew up all of their airfields. They blew up basically um, tanks and other military equipment that the Muslims had basically built up to go after Israel, to try to go after Israel. So they declared a war against Israel, and Israel nipped their ass to shit in 6 days and basically fucking grabbed the Arabs, Muslims, by their head and went like this and went, and set their terrorist ass down. These punks, they're just like Obama. The Palestinians are just like Obama. Hussein, Barack Hussein Obama. They grab them by the head like that and they sat them down. Took them 6 days to nip that shit in the bud. So when they did that, they destroyed enough of the infrastructure, their military that the terrorists had, Iran and all them, where it was obliterated. And it took that long before they could all build their militaries and tanks and everything, jets and whatnot, back up. And now you got a guy here who wants to what now threaten Israel, want to try to threaten Israel to not do anything to Iran, to let Iran go ahead and make a nuclear bomb to go ahead and destroy Israel. I'm going to tell you right now, to my own government, and people who vote for this nonsense, who is an anti-president, who is not my president, who is not presidential material, he's not the president at all. He is a terrorist that lied to you, that became the president, all on a batch of lies, and they still, for whatever god fucking reason, awful reason, they will not take the lying asshole to jail for being a lying ass piece of shit that he is. He is just a liar. He's never ever one time ever been straightforward with America and told the truth. He is just an absurd, obscene liar, and he's destroying America. So I wanted to know, or I wanted to say, so yes, let's see. we're gonna look at England's gun ban. I don't know if I'm done yapping about Obama here yet. Maybe we can come back to Obama. So we'll look at England gun ban. Now this is now I know what I was gonna put in the title, and it wasn't chopped up bullshit. And what it is, I'm gonna edit it right now and put it in there. Sorry. What it is it's after gun ban, it's comma thing to come. I hope that's not too much. Saved in things to come. It saved it. Okay. In things to come. Okay, so this is this is the things to come to America, what I pieced together and I figured it out. So now you want to know exactly why I couldn't figure out for the life of me why a non-Muslim would shoot up UCC whenever he was going after Christians like that. Did you know Muslims were pagans before they became Muslims, and they're still basically a pagan? They're not really not no different. They're still a pagan. They just I don't ask them who their God is. You know, see if they don't. Well, actually, don't ask them that because they might kill you. They might go blow up and be like, no, 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 and just try to kill you for asking them who their God is. Because they don't know. They can only go back so far, and their religion is one of the newest religions around, so it's quite fake. The Christian religion, I can prove that the Christian religion was always around. It was not just after Jesus came in and died. The people that were before that were no different than the people after he died. They would have been the same exact person, believing in Christ. So I call them the pre-Christians. The pre-Christians, because they worshiped God, and they had a religion, and they were straight up religious people, and they did not you know, get all out of control and whatever else. They stuck to what it was that until they got to a point in their society where whatever led in and led up to make everybody act like a bunch of heathens and dipwads. It's stuff that's here gonna come to get us all killed, all of us killed for people's selfish ways. Whenever we've all been given a society where things are pretty much, I'd have to say, paved for every American. Every American in this country had the fucking shit paved for you, for us. You know, it was, and it's not an evil thing. It was the way that our country was made, man. Forefathers, whatever, and the politicians are supposed to be honorable and respect that, and and tediously keep that shit tight and take care of our country and don't let our rights diminish. So I want to see that shit stay intact. So I don't want to lose my gun rights, even though even though I don't carry a weapon, and I guess I don't really feel uncomfortable. I don't feel the need to have one. Um, so I still don't want my right taken away. I don't like that. So, anyways, things to come. Looking at, we're gonna get off the subject of France right now. Now we're looking at England and England's gun ban. I'm not gonna. I was gonna look it up. We were gonna look it up and read maybe some of the stuff off of the Wikipedia, but you can go reference what I say. How about we just do that? I'll just tell you, and you can go back and reference my words and see if I'm correct. So there had got to a point over there in the UK where there had been um, several tragedies in their society, like the ones that we see here in America. The as far as I know, from what I've seen here in America, I know for a fact because I'm an American and I lived through it and I've seen it and I lived through it, that I know that it's bullshit, not like it's faked completely, like people didn't really die or something. It's I get a false sense from all of it because I believe that the authorities were not allowed to do their job, or for some reason, if that's Obama's job, is to make sure that we're all safe and that we do not be killed, that he had us killed on purpose, even though that is his job, is to keep us safe. He went ahead and he's going ahead and having us be killed anyway so that he can push a radical agenda. Now, when the Boston bombing happened, what did he say? Did he come out and say, we're going to have talk about gun control? Did Obama come out and say, well, we're going to have a talk about gun control after they blew people up? You know? So you had the terrorists go and actually blow people up in Boston, and the government let that happen, could have stopped that, but wanted to let that happen just so that they could shake society up, or maybe that one was set up and faked by Hollywood, like the moon landing or something. It's just done like kind of like with studio type of equipment out there. So maybe it was a complete hoax after all, the Boston bombing. So, and then you have the shootings come after that, and because it was with the gun, now you have this guy come out and talking about us needing. That's going to help Obama, him, and his legacy to be able to, uh, to, you know, get even for those evil gunmen that killed those people, is to disarm everybody else, who basically had nothing to do with it. The NRA had nothing to do with it. None of these guys had nothing to do with it. So we are very well aware of the fact that if there were no guns being sold here or were being allowed here, and they were all gathered up and confiscated by the government and taken away all in a day, nobody had any, you know that the terrorists would figure out a way to get into America. And I believe that some of these liberal states that have these real super liberal jackass governors, say like California's governor, you know, from Oregon, so I know they're in a lot of the same boat that California is with this liberal nonsense. Um, that these people have absolutely no common sense. They have no common sense whenever it comes to being a leader and leading people, because you're going to have society completely disarmed, and then they're going to, like England did, it helped create a terrorist organization, the IRA, that the government couldn't ever figure out how to get a hold of. If I was the English government and their military, um, there's no way that I would not stop every single day if I was a elected official over there. There is no way that I would not get up every single day with complete intention of figuring out how to put the IRA down and lay them down and just put them out. Those, if you wouldn't know, those are my true enemies. Those are my true enemies. I believe they had declared war on me, my country, and um, they attacked my background personally, as far as I'm concerned. So they have declared war with me, and I'm an American, the real American. They violated it to me personally, in particular. That's how I feel. I feel the IRA has declared war against me and my state and people who think of me like and think the way I do a lot. I just want my country protected. I don't want the government to be wishy-washy. I want all the liberals to be voted out of there, to be kicked out and cast out on their ass. And anybody who is not getting up every single day trying to figure out how they can really be a president, and or actually from the government standpoint what they can really do to benefit every single American today. At this point, it blows me away on how the priorities and other things can be orchestrated to where that is not what's going on. The last thing practically on the government's agenda is to take care of you. Is to bottom line at the end of the day, you're dead because the government does not care. They would rather push an ideology and news you and me and everybody else that they can, as a sick sacrificial type of sacrificial lamb or something. They think that we just exist to be their, example or whatever, like they're a bunch of monarchies or something. And I'm telling you, Obama ain't nothing but a twerp. If at um, at the least, Obama is probably from the line of black people who sold other black people into slavery. And here we are. They got the guy whose background dates back to selling slaves off to Europeaners. By the way, not Americans. Americans didn't go there into Africa and fish the black African slaves or anybody else out of there. their own black people from their own areas fished them out of there. And the people were all in the Congos and stuff, but that's who Obama is. He is not a brother, and they are absolutely 100% right on books and any other black people who depict him. And that is just nonsense that people are just that freaking lame and don't know what they're talking about. And should be completely happy where they're at right now because of their ancestors' sacrifice of having to be a slave for Christ's sake. That you're a free individual now and you have a road that is paved out for you, depending on how you want to take that road. It's paved out for all of us. So, I don't know what else people think they're supposed to do, but that's not presidential material to me. So England continued to have these radical demonstrations, and they were all basically like the IRA. So they weren't, I don't think, necessarily Muslim extremist terrorists, but now they're all linked together. As far as I'm concerned, Obama, people like him, helped create ISIS and all this other radical, fundamental uh, Islamic or not, or just terrorist garbage in the world, but actually unify all those people regardless if they are Muslim or not. If they have a wicked agenda, they're together. Just like how Hitler was with the um, Muslims, the Palestinians. You don't think the Palestinians are not Nazis? Are not like Hitler down the line straight up hate Jews and want to burn them all and have another Holocaust. Well, the Palestinians were aligned with Hitler, and again, I'll mention it. I'll tell you the story of that just real fast. I'll just dot on it here for a second. Hitler went to the Palestinians, the Palestinian leader or whatever of that of Palestine or whatever. They're the same Palestinian putes there in Israel that want to take over Israel. They want to make it, call it Palestine, whenever they know that's all bullshit. The Jews have been there the entire time, since the brink of time, and everything has existed. The Jews have basically were the ones that first started developing anything in that area. And history and artifacts all prove that too, also. But anyways, so um, they want to call it Palestine. But anyways, Hitler went to see them, the leader in Palestine. So like the guy, the leader of the PLO or whatever that guy's name is, the weird dude with the weird looking red thing that he wears on his head. Um. Anyways, Hitler went to see that guy instead of that guy being invited or told to come and meet with these other world people, leaders, or whatever, this and that. Hitler actually went to those pieces of garbage and talked to them, and they are like, they thought Hitler was like the man. They thought Hitler was like, they thought he was the shit. They thought Hitler was like your god idol. Anyway, so we're looking at what happened there in England was they had a lot of mass shootings until they finally had a mass shooting that came, and it took over. Can you guess how many people? Can you guess how many people? So we just had 49 people be killed, right? So in each one, I'm telling you what's to come. Each one, more people die. There's more people. So these Muslims, the FBI, can do this one thing and they're restrained and not allowed to do it. When I can tell you right now, all they need to do to keep people safe is to tell those left wingers to shut their fucking mouth and shut the fuck up and sit down and shut the fuck up, or something's gonna happen to you. Something is gonna happen to you if you don't quit talking your fucking shit and shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna give. So, anyways, so what they need to do is they need, obviously, what the Muslims are doing is they're doing the same thing that they did over in England to get the guns confiscated, and the police fucking don't. They're uneducated. The FBI and everybody in this country is that unfucking educated to not be able to fucking tell you the things to come and what's going to happen next. That the fucking Muslims are going to find for Obama, just like they pushed over in England to get the England gun ban. They're going to they're targeting people not just to go in there and make people think that they're their friend too for a while or whatever, and be all, hey, I'm cool with you. They're spotting places out that they want to know um, if they can kill more people. So the more people that they kill, it starts with 10, then it goes to 30, then it goes to 50, then it goes to 100, then it goes to 200, then it goes to 300, then it goes to 1,000. We had over 3,000 people be killed by radical Islamic terrorist fundamental extremists in September 2001, September 11th. Over 3,000 people were murdered by Muslim Islamic extremists that day. And then you voted 8 years later, after when Bush left office, you voted for because of the color of his skin or whatever fucking he pees to you, his mouth. He's just a mouthy liar. He's only lied. But you voted for one of their helpers, one of their people. Obama has gone and sat down with these people and has talked personally. You know that the devil is not omnipresent, right? So in order for him to be able to know what we're doing, or to be able to converse with terrorists or other evil entities in the world, he has to go to them. He cannot just implant the thought into people's minds, or just go and float and fly into the White House and pull all of this secret information that only an American should ought to see. For God's sake, not the devil, his own self, should not. Where's the devil from? Is he from America? No, I don't think so. He's from somewhere else, but he's evil, and it's the last whatever entity or whatever you wanted spying on you and looking through your presidential files and looking at our secret information and stuff. But that's what you have. You have the devil himself, basically. I'm going to start calling him mortal wound, because in the Bible it says the Antichrist has a mortal wound to his head and then is healed miraculously. And then I think that he's mortal wound, had his soul taken from him, maybe as a child, maybe even, and then it was replaced with it would be the spawn thing at that point, not a sperm. It would be a spawn. So Obama is a spawn. So I'm going to call him Mortal Wound. Mortal Wound means he is obviously acting like the devil himself, like the Antichrist. So things to come. So there's going to be more and more radical shooting, and he's doing it mainly with the Muslims, not so much the pagans who are obviously the IRA. So the IRA, they believe in pagan religion or whatever that is, the pagan stuff, like the pagans. And it kind of makes sense, um, where they're at, like the Vikings or whatever, however, up to this point in time, how we all end up being where we're at. I'm in Florida, right? They're in England or in Oregon or wherever these people are, New York, you know, that's how we ended up being where we're at. Today is just time and whatever, that's where we're at. The Vikings came from somewhere, or whatever, whoever they are, but they're pagan religion, and obviously it makes sense why they would be pagans out there. So they sent, did they send this Chris Harper guy to go kill himself, and when they die, what do they believe happens? Where do pagans go when they die? Because they're telling the Muslims, obviously, that they get 36, 76 virgins or something like that for killing us. Uh, if they come and kill us, the more successful they are with killing us, the more virgins they're going to have when they die in their afterlife. Is going to be, they're not in hell. I believe that they're in hell. Uh, so, anyways, looking at England's gun ban, it took finally whenever they had hit 300 over 300 people be mass murdered there. You can look it up by guns. They took that away. So in 9/11, I guess it's a good thing a Democrat wasn't president. If Al Gore was president and 9/11 happened, he would have banned all airplanes from the world, huh? No, he would have just banned all of us from using airplanes, but he would have said that you have absolutely no right telling the Muslim Islamic extremists they can't use airplanes. That's exactly what would have happened if Al Gore would have won. And 9/11 would have happened. And 9/11 was going to happen one way or another if Bush was in there or not. Because 9/11 happened in 1993, and obviously the terrorists were geared up, ready to do it again. They hit it once on Bill Clinton's time. They could have done it again, but they wanted to wait until after the next president. So it could be on the next president so that they can drag the next guy into this Bush, and no matter what Bush tries to do to be helpful to look out after Americans, to actually be a real president, they're going to come in here and they're going to spit at us so much of our Islamic radical terrorist, fundamental terrorist enemy. You know, every American in the world should ought to be listening to this video here. But they're going to throw all that at us more. So, anyways, he's not presidential material. Bush was presidential material because he looked out after people, but he was still fooled to think that the banks were, if I was the president, I would tell those banks to sit down, shut the fuck up. You're gonna go to jail. I'm gonna put your motherfucking asses all in jail if you fucking don't shut the fuck up, because all these people want their money back, and you're gonna either give them their money back or, you know, something. But no, you're not getting a bailout. You're gonna have to deal with it. Make all those banks and other places file bankruptcy, and if they even try to fucking harm other people who work to try to keep them from getting their fucking paycheck, like thinking that they're peasants, they need your job to fucking live, not that you need these peasants to keep your stupid fucking business afloat, calling people peasants. Well, how fucking ludicrous. Anyways, so like I said, I'm a staunch believer in the working man and the working person. And I would not never maybe the difference between me and Hoffa is if I was like say a union type of rep and I looked out after the working class guy, I would not do, as far as I know and I think anyways right now, I don't think I would do anything corrupt or illegal in order to um, do what I think is right to benefit the working class people more or whatever by doing something wrong. I do not believe in um, the ends of the means justifies the ends, or the ends of the means justifies the means of the end, however you say that. The Democrats, that's their saying. That's not my saying. I don't believe in that. I don't think the means justifies the ends, because I think all in all, through and all, if you're good and you do good work and you um, have a positive opinion or outlook on it, and that's what you're trying to do without being corrupt and without being part of the people who are doing bad things illegally, that you can orchestrate. And whenever it's done and you get to your end goal, and that is to benefit the working stiffs, I'll call them that, in this country, that it was all done legitimately and you can't take anything away from it because you didn't lie, you didn't cheat, you didn't steal, and you didn't commit any crimes or break any laws in order to get those benefits for those people. And that's how I feel. I truly feel that if you play it fair and square, if you have to play it by ear, whatever it is you have to do, that in the long run, it's going to benefit those people, and you won't rob those people like everybody else. Just, you know, is there for a different reason. They're not there to be legitimate or even support their own self if they plan on, when they walk away from politics or whatever else they're doing, they're going to be working themselves. So for that, I can tell every liberal basically, and even working Democrats, you can kiss my ass. You can kiss my motherfucking ass as a Republican. I really have a problem with these Democrats and these liberals here in this country. But their gun ban in England, it took up to a mass shooting of over 300 people, and the things to come are basically orchestrated by the government to allow more and more of these things. So I'm going to give the FBI a little bit of a advice. And if you want to stop and thwart these people who are patrolling our citizens in this country, look at the places that the liberals have made uh, a target zone for somebody to go in there with an automatic weapon or whatever they have means to do that with, and just start a shooting spree. Look at all that. So that's one. But the main thing that I think that they're doing that none of us are thinking about, yeah, except now if something made me think about it and want to point this out, is that they're obviously looking at, for Obama in the leftist socialist government, it would have been the same. I told people it would have been the same if Bernie Sanders would have won and then became the president, and or Hillary. They're all the same. Um, they're going to tell you that you can't profile these people, and what they're doing in particular is they're looking at these liberal leftist places that they can go in. It's nobody's supposed to have a firearm, and they want to know now where can they go where they can kill 100 people at. Now they want to know where they can go and they can kill 200 people at. Now where they can go and they can kill 300 people at. So right now at a time like this, and I will bring it, France, just to make this point real quick, then I'll shut this video off and go, is that they've had a gun ban there forever. Them and England, all of the UK, all of them, right? To this point, and this is why this is a bad time to disarm people. Why you should, I thought the government should deputize everybody or give the people authorities everywhere in every state, in every province or whatever place, the authority to deputize all the citizens. And it has a lot to do with the fact that everybody kind of needs a firearm in their hands right now. They need to be taught how to control it, possess it, shoot it, and everything. Every American needs to do that, and if people don't want to handle it, they need to be out in public with some of their family that carries and is protecting them. And that's why I think every American should be armed right now, and kind of even felons. I'm not so positive that somebody who is that violent or that much of a criminal or whatever should ought to have one. But maybe they should ought to be forced to have to go with people that have one so they can be protected. So that's another thing in the liberal laws is if you are a convicted felon, they're going to try and tell you, oh, yeah, you can't even be around somebody with a gun. So if a cop comes up to you, you have to tell a cop, like, I can't talk to you. I have to stay away from you. Stay away from me. Because you could get me in trouble just having a firearm next to me. It's just they laugh and they joke and they eat their little precious little foods and whatnot, and they joke and then they make their laws, but they have absolutely no idea what it is like to live in regular society. So and to have to deal with the bullshit that we have to deal with. They have a complete catered life. Whatever, for God's sake, people, do not ever forget that those politicians and those people have a completely catered life, and none of them work or do anything for themselves remotely to be on the same level as all of us. They want to act like they're high honchos and they're above all of us, when actually I see it the other way around, that they are not on our level from where we're at. So, anyways, um, that's the things to come. So, what did they do? What did they do real quick in France? They had a gun ban there for about 70 years now. Okay, so that's Obama's ideal society that he's talking about, and they still smuggle the firearm in there, and all the people that, because they can't talk about taking their guns away now. All they can talk about is bringing their guns back in France. And all of the places that have gun restriction and gun bans everywhere, that's all that they can talk about. So, and then the last thing I'm going to say is, um, I see that something has to be done about the IRA, not just the ISIS and the other radical um, uh, terrorist organizations and groups in the world, but but all of good people need to have their restraints um, broken and unlocked, all of their chains and restraints and restraints holding them back, so that all that shit just breaks off and falls on the ground. And then these people, we all as good people, need to be armed to the teeth, like militarily, and just form and come together like that, and not be have more another chain put on while they're arming and gearing up our enemies and helping them come at us more. These people have no good intentions. I don't know what they would do with the world if they had the world accept one thing. They would be brutal, they would kill people off, and you would either conform to what their radical thoughts and notions are, or else. So, Obama, you can think certain things for him coming, so that we could be full aware of what bullshit really is. Real bullshit. But he's not presidential material. If he is not every day trying to figure out what he can do to benefit me and to further my relationship with Christ, even, then he is truly a demagogue and a radical, and he probably a sheep. Probably just as much of a sheep as the people that he's trying to lead into a big ass hole.